Thanks for coming back, everyone. This one's going to be Christmas time, whatever. We have 2 days before Christmas, and going to continue with political problems and problems with the law, not just in Canada, I suppose in the United States as well. However, I wanted to discuss this man. He's a former premier of the province of British Columbia. His name is Gordon Campbell, and he was drunk driving in Hawaii. He was leaving a famous couple's house their last names is Latrimo. Anyway, he was wandering down the highway, high rate of speed, and driving very crooked. So a state trooper pulled him over, and the state trooper, when he approached the car, he realized the man was smashed, sloshed, 3 sheets to the wind. Anyway, this man, when he had rolled down the window, he was very cavalier. Hi, how are you? So the officer said, have you been drinking tonight? He says, oh, I don't drink, but I had a couple just at the Latrimos, but I'm not a drinker. So anyway, the state trooper said, need to see your driver's license, please, registration. So he gives him his driver's license, and it's a rental car because he's from Canada. And when he told him, he said, I think you've been drinking, I'd like you to get out of the car. So he gets out of the car. And he stumbles a bit, and then the cop's looking at him, and so this man, Gordon Campbell, decides he's going to go on the offense. So he says, don't you know who I am? And the police officer looked at him and said, no, but I'm hoping you know who you are. I'm Gordon Campbell, the Prime Minister of Canada. And then he corrected himself, he's the Premier of British Columbia. Anyway, he got convicted. He got charged. And being from Canada, he wanted to leave, so he hired a lawyer in Hawaii to represent him while he was away. And in Hawaii at that time, drunk driving was a misdemeanor. I mean, he didn't run into anybody, didn't have an accident. He was just wandering around the road, as the Prime Ministers of Canada do. Anyway, so they go to court, no contest, and off he goes. But when he came back to British Columbia, and the news hit the wires, right? This man went crazy. He stiffened up all the drunk driving laws of British Columbia, the province that he's the premier of, and everybody there got criminal records, huge fines, off the road, in jail. He himself did not go to jail. He himself only paid a small fine. Wow. Did he lose his driver's license? No. Wow. Makes a difference here. When you're a politician, things are different. The laws are not equal at all in Canada. Anyway, this guy, he passed out billions of dollars in contracts for building bridges and an Olympic Village and things like that. And at that time, we had a Prime Minister came along. His name is Stephen Harper. He's from Alberta. He's a man of very poor judgment. He's the leader of the Conservative Party. This man's the leader of the Liberal Party. And they're always at loggerheads, you see. So when this man retired or gave up his job, whatever it was he did, this man decided to appoint him to London in the embassy of London representing Canada as an ambassador. This man who's a liberal, this man who's a conservative. At the time I rolled my eyes about it like that does not happen. So what happened to this man in England? He's been charged with, well actually, let's just look. Sexual impropriety. Actually, I think it's sexual assault, but they didn't want to call it that. So some of his friends are now deserting him. And it was sexual misconduct in London. What happened was, as I remember it, you have to be careful, the allegation against him is this. He was on an escalator. There was a very attractive woman in front of him wearing a skirt. So he put his hands between her legs and went up the skirt with him. So the government of Canada is representing him in court. We're paying the bill. Was he drunk at the time? I have met him once in my life, and he was hungover. Very, very hungover. Anyway, that's how it goes here in Canada. It's ridiculous. When I was a young person, no conservative ever rewarded a liberal. And I have wondered to this day, what is in it for this man? This man has very poor judgment. He approved the sale of a potash mine in Saskatchewan, which is huge, to the Chinese Communist Party. They can buy it. When the news of that hit Western Canada, Saskatchewan is a prairie province, the farmers went crazy. And he was going like, oh, what's the big deal? I'm just selling a potash mine. What's going on here now? And he said, well, we're farmers, and we need potash to make fertilizer to grow wheat, right, and all those things, you know, all the cereal grains, we have to have it. Oh, I didn't know that. Nobody ever told me. So this man canceled the contract. Canceled the sale, the sale. He canceled it. Now that's a good judgment person, isn't it? Terrible. What we live through here in Canada, terrible. I've been in court many times. I have not been permitted to speak. No judge in Canada lets you speak. All judges are run by the premier. They call them, they take their direction from Parliament. That's it. They're not unbiased, certainly not unbiased. Before you get to the court, they have phoned everybody else on the other side, all the lawyers. Well, what do you want me to do with this son of a bitch? What do you want me to do with him, man? What do I want to do with him? Right now, all the judges in Canada are controlled by this man, who's a close personal friend of George Soros. There's a good one for you. His father was Joseph Trudeau. Oh, unbelievable. Anyway, I want to get off this topic now. It's a very short one, I'm sorry, but I just want to tell you again, the political patronage, it doesn't matter if you're a liberal, a conservative, or a liberal. They're both the same. They're both in it to fill their pockets. This man's a sexual predator, in my opinion. Sexual predator. I don't know whatever happened to the court case in England, but we, the people of Canada, we're buying it. We're buying the lawyer. We're paying everything. Unbelievable. Thanks for listening.